It's Friday evening, going into the first weekend of July 2019. We have a halftime ahead of us, and today I'd like to just spend a little time asking you some questions as I ask myself some questions about what are we going to do now that here in 2019 we are at halftime. Well, that's coming up. Join us right now as we begin. It's What It Takes Radio transition time, and we're going to find out what are the transitions and changes we need to make, and maybe you do too. Let's see what happens. Well, one of the first things we have to do is perhaps get a new opening theme song. Now, my good friend Frank kind of put that one together, and we've been using it for about a year now. But as we're moving from the Jesus Entrepreneur Experience, and that becoming the nickname of the Christian Entrepreneur Network, and we trust that you'll continue to follow and be with us as things go and grow, and hopefully we'll have more of a sense of the presence of Jesus, both in our work and our life and our relationships and service to others. But as we go to the next program, which is called the Master Entrepreneur, and it will be called a guide to true greatness. And we will spend more and more time in the actual real entrepreneurial world. Obviously, the master entrepreneur will be very much not in the shadows, but standing by us as we work with some real specific, hardcore ways to make your business go and grow, not only for you to be fully alive, but for that business to not only be alive, survive, and even thrive. So it'll be very much focused on that. Now, in the meantime, during halftime, we're going to take July, and we'll be talking about our new operation to help you. Podcasting is going and growing, and as of last Monday, we declared that this little subsection of the Christian Entrepreneur Network, which we just kind of nickname What It Takes Radio, as you now see by our logo, is a unique, specific, discrete LLC company that is complementary to what we do at the Christian Entrepreneur Network, but it's not a nonprofit. It is a regular LLC. It is a business that we're going to run to help people all around the world do this. If you want to make your mark in business today, you're going to have to learn to use the modern media, and we don't mean the social media, the Facebook. We don't mean those kind of things because they actually are fundamentally flawed, even though we use them. They are flawed in what we want to be and what we want to do, and obviously there are people who control some of those media outlets which do not have the best of God's purposes in mind. However, the phenomenon in which we have the ability to produce radio and television and audio books and electronic books that can make a difference in people's lives and that you yourself can be a part of. We're going to help people be on the radio, have an online class or course. The way you will build your business, surprisingly, is oftentimes through billboards. That's interesting. And through something else. And that is the fact that the radios are dying out. Some people have said that the radio might be dead in the next 3 to 5 years. However, radio won't be dead. It's just that people will be getting their radio and their audio and the stories and performances and news and talk and conversation. It'll be coming through the phone. It will be more of an internet phenomenon, which is called over the top because it's in the cloud, as opposed to on the air, OTA, which of course is that ether between the transmitter tower and the receiver in your car, in your home. And of course, it's increasingly in your car, and more cars will be equipped, as they always are, with the internet going forward, and that's what will happen. Radio will be something that is really satellite-based, and even more than that, it is internet online-based. All kinds of things. And so we're starting a company that will help you. We've been doing this for many years. We know how to do it. We've paid the price. We've learned how to do it from more than trial and error, sometimes tragedy and catastrophe. But as a result of that, you don't have to endure that, because we know how to help you become a person, a business, an organization, a church, a ministry that will use the growing, almost exploding podcasting, internet radio, and the audio and video and television presence online to build your business, communicate your message, to make your mark in the world. We can help you do that, and the difference will be not only will we be talking about what it takes radio and television, but we also do so with saying what it takes is wisdom, insight, and truth. What it takes, wit, wisdom, insight, and truth. And that comes from the master entrepreneur himself. We look to Jesus and His Word and His ways, and to the Word of God to discover how we can best do that kind of media work. We're going to be doing that through July. This is our halftime. Now, what we encourage people to do is, from time to time, take a time out. And of course, those of you who have the sports metaphor well in mind know that at the halftime, you think about your performance. You think about the game you're playing. You're wondering, what should I be doing differently in the second half? Now, most of us are in that phase of life. Now that we're in the second half of our life, what should we do differently? It's certainly a very different period in life. So should we have different approaches, different ways of thinking about it? And if we're in the late third quarter or the fourth quarter, not only the second half, are there ways that we need to finish differently in order to finish well? And that's your encore, and we'll be talking about that. But through July, here in halftime, we are going to help you understand how you can use the media. Now, here's my question. If you had to do a radio program, or if you got the opportunity to do a radio program, what would it be about? Now, my friend Bob Ketchersid, who he and I worked together in radio around the world for Trans World Radio, big international missionary radio station. He is now the part-time owner of a small, not part-time, he's part owner of a wonderful little real radio station in Athens, Tennessee. And he tells the story that one time a gentleman came into the store, and that's what he calls his place, where he meets people. This is the store. And the man said, "My wife has always wanted to be on the radio." And he said, "For her birthday, could I buy 1 hour of radio time and let her do her own show?" And Bob said, "We've never heard such a request." And the guy said, "No, I'm honest. I'll pay for it." He said, "But she can come in and she can talk and play the music she wants. She's always wanted to be on the radio. And so I want to buy her 1 hour on this little local radio station so her friends can hear her, so she can be on the radio. Not a guest. She runs the show." What a wonderful, fun idea. And Bob said, we were able to make that happen. Now, the point is, what if you had that same opportunity? What if you could have an hour on the radio? What if you had a radio program? Well, the truth is, and you know where I'm going, is you do have that now. You can do that. What would your program be about? Now, I'm going to tell you a few things that we're going to do. Not only are we going to do the Master Entrepreneur, but we're going to be talking about the marketing life how to market yourself and market your business, how to be a world-class business performance coach. We want to talk to people about how they can live well in their senior and retirement years, or as we call it, their encore years. So we're going to be producing, right with us, 2 or 3 different programs besides the Master Entrepreneur. But we'd like to produce your program too, because we can make it happen. As one man said to me, I have no idea where to begin. And I simply said, we do. And we know what to do in the middle, and we know how to get you on the air, and we know how to make you enjoy it. Not make you enjoy it, but you will enjoy it, but we'll make you do the things so you can enjoy it. And you'll see where it will go. It's an experiment, and we can encourage you to do that. You don't have to do it alone, and if you try and do it alone, you can figure it out, but it'll take you about 10 times as long. Let us help you avoid the mistakes, and let us help you enjoy more and more. As one person said, who is going through this with me right now, he said, Stan, I wish I had had you as my radio coach 20 years ago, because what I'm learning about radio and communications and persuasion would have really helped me when I was younger in my career, and now I'm going to try and make up for it in the years that I have. It was wonderful to learn what you knew about radio and persuasion and communication and connection, and we'd never thought about it. And now that I know about it, I can see where the good ones, the really talented radio and television performers, now I'm even figuring out what they do and how they do it and why they do it well. Well, we'd like to help you do that. So right now, radioedge77@gmail.com. We want to keep it simple. Radio that's on the edge. We're on Route 77 right here in sunny Arizona, going up to Route 66. So it's radioedge77@gmail.com. radioedge77@gmail.com. It's halftime, and we're going to take a time out in July, and I encourage you to take a time out in July to say, as I go into the second half of 2019, or I go into the second half of life and expectations, what am I going to stop doing? What am I going to start doing? What am I going to change about what I do? What risks am I going to take? As a gentleman said the other day, said, there are no safe places, boys and girls, and every man and woman knows that. And if you simply say safety first, a good slogan for walking the streets sometimes, but you can't play it safe. You have to take the risk. You have to live in faith. You have to believe that God has you stepping out in ways and in places and in spaces and in opportunities that you never thought possible, because He just delights in people who trust Him and take big risks and perhaps achieve for themselves, for their family, their community, their business, maybe even the common good and the kingdom of God. Ordinary people achieving extraordinary things. I hope you'll think about that kind of halftime. I'm Stan Houston. This is What It Takes Radio. We're in transition, getting ready to follow up with the Master Entrepreneur. Thank you for your time. Just under 15 minutes. By the way, we're going to change our format. We're going to have some 5-minute programs, and we're going to call them Fast 5. And then we're going to have 10-minute programs, and that's going to be 10 minutes of clarity. So sometimes it'll be a short program, a medium program, and then, of course, a top 20. And that means we're going to top it out at 20 minutes. And that's all we need. If you can't say it well in 20 minutes, you probably can't say it well in 20 hours or a long time. I like some long programs too, but we're going to help you know that you can do it in 20 minutes. Like the TED Talk, like the traditional commute that most of us, at least in the United States, go through. 20 minutes. 5, 10, 20 will be our format. Now you think about that when you plan your program. Again, my name is Stan Houston. I hope that we will keep in touch, that we'll have a good July halftime, and that life will really come to us with new God-directed specifications, perhaps some directions and some purpose, as we do halftime in 2019, and maybe halftime for the rest of our lives. All the best and blessings, and bye for now.